Make a Path presents Let's Talk. Alright, Deadheads, back again for another Q&A. If you want to participate in the Q&A, only leave your questions in the newest Q&A video in the playlist. Makes it easier for me to find the questions, I'll be brutally honest with you. And another thing, I'm going to have to cut down the editing. I will still do black and white when I'm asking a question, I actually love that. But as far as editing, if I ramble here and there, I might just start leaving it in, because I'm just spending way too much time on Q&As when I actually want the Q&As to be, I don't want to say unprofessional, but I just want it to be raw. That's the best way I could possibly explain it. Another thing, if you're going to participate in the Q&As, add Q&A before your question. That's very important, or else I'm not going to know you're trying to get in the Q&A video. We got a lot of questions, and I want to run through real quick, so I'm going to be talking fast, running around like a nut, burning through these questions. I'm not going to go into extreme detail. I'm going to try to stop doing this with my arms, but I'm going to try to not go into crazy detail, and I'm just going to shut up right now. Let's talk The Walking Dead Q&A 48. First up, the Mist channel. Now that Reg was killed by Pete and Rick showed Dina that he can be a leader now, do you think that she will start listening to him and probably make him the leader of Alexandria? No, I do not think that's how it's going to work at all. See, that's the purpose of the Wolves. Let's not all forget this. I think this is actually one of the things that I think everyone has forgotten. The purpose of the Wolves is not to have a grand battle. The purpose of the Wolves is not to, fill the story for half a season and hold off on Negan. The purpose of the Wolves within the storyline is to make Rick Grimes the official leader. Not just his speech and him killing Pete at the end of season 5. That's the purpose of the Wolves, alright? Because they're translating them from the comic. And that was their exact purpose in the comic. It was twofold. It gives leadership to Rick, and it ushers in the No Way Out story arc. And I do believe they're going to do both of that in the TV show. Viral velocity. Do you think that we will ever hear the survivors say zombie in the original Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead? No, not at all. For those of you who don't understand this, zombies do not exist in their universe. Look at it like this. In the world of The Walking Dead, okay, in that world, they've never had zombie movies. The word zombie doesn't even exist, alright? And I know they screwed up and used it in the comic book a couple times, but in the world of The Walking Dead on the TV show, they never heard anything about zombies. They don't, that's why. They don't just purposely not say it. Like in the show, they know what zombies are and they don't say it. They don't know what zombies are. Ben Vitito, what do you think the show would do if one of the main characters, such as Andrew Lincoln, died? You know what? That's a real messed up question. It's real messed up because it could actually happen in real life. That has happened in movies, and I'm sure that has happened in TV shows. I believe it did happen in an HBO TV show before. However, it depends. It depends on the character, and it depends on the fan base. It depends on the people making the show. If they love that character so much, portrayed by that actor, they might want to show him the respect and not just cast a new character to play that role. I want to feel that if a major character like Rick Grimes had died, the actor, right off the bat, I want to say they would probably just replace him with a new actor, which would suck, I mean, God forbid, hopefully none of this ever happens and we don't ever find out what's going on. Me personally, I feel like that would be the end of it for me, at least for me. One thing that kills it for me, and this is actually what Game of Thrones did. I was enjoying Game of Thrones so much until I started noticing they swap actors out. Like, I don't know if anyone notices this, but there's one character that is a prisoner, it's like a cousin, and then that same little kid is actually recast as the king, which is, it's not like, two secondary roles, it's two very important roles. So when you go back and rewatch it, you're watching this kid who will later become a totally different character. Took me right out of it like this. I was immediately like, oh, fuck this, man. So yeah, for me personally as a fan, I would probably just drop the show. I don't know what they would do. I really, really don't know. Andy Squid. Now that Seth Gilliam got arrested. What will happen to his character? Listen, who gives a shit, man? He smoked some pot. He was driving reckless. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that. We all know that. Slap him on the hand and come on. Thankfully, no one died. No one got hurt. He didn't die. But it's not going to hurt his filming. It was a DUI, and he's smoking some pot. I mean, the worst, in my eyes, was him driving so reckless, so fast. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn if he's smoking weed and driving. I don't care. It's the driving fast, and I do it. We all do it, you know. I don't think, and I think this is ridiculous how much people we got on social media talking about how, fuck him for driving so fast. He's a real piece of shit. Oh, come on. What's the difference between driving 80 miles an hour, and you see people do it all the time. I'm always getting passed on the highway when the speed limit's 70. I'm doing 80, and they're blowing past me. They're probably the same asshole that's talking on Facebook saying, oh, he's flying, he's an asshole, da-da-da-da. But my main concern is the pedal to the metal type shit. You know, he could have hurt somebody. But other than that, he's fine for the show. You know what I mean? That's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I think it's media. They make it bigger than it is in real life. That ain't nothing. Blake Harris. Do you think the kingdom will be its own separate place, or that the characters, humans and otherwise, will just be shown as members of Hilltop? They don't film things as if it's the real distance in the story. You know what I'm saying? They could actually build the set of the kingdom off to the side of the Hilltop, or the side of Alexandria, wherever they put it. You know what I'm saying? So as long as when they're filming it, it looks like a completely different place in a different area, it'll work. You know, I truly believe they will combine the Hilltop and the kingdom into a different location. You know what I'm saying? And I do think that that is possible with the way you film it. And hey, they might not. They might just use a mini location. Because listen, when we get down the line, we're going to need Alexandria, Hilltop. We're going to need the kingdom and the sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? Just for starters. But I think it could be done. Burkay Karenlick. Hey, Ronnie, how do you think Rick will handle the herd? And you said you're asking this because they said that the walkers are a manageable threat. Now, listen, that is true. You know what I'm saying? But this is supposed to be a massive herd. And it's coming right after that battle with the wolves. So depending on how they mix that storyline, it's going to be more problematic than, oh, look, there's walkers, we can handle this. You know what I'm saying? This is not going to be a manageable threat. So yeah, I think the storyline will be similar to the comics, but I'm hoping that we see a more fleshed out adaptation of it. Or adaptation, whatever the word is. Stephen Klein. Do you think that Gareth and the rest of the people at Terminus felt pretty stupid when they found out exactly what Rick quoted? They were fucking with the wrong people. Yeah, Gareth felt pretty stupid. Santivia Major. Would you prefer to see Season 6 tension between Carol and Michonne for the role of Rick's confidant and most trusted advisor, or tension between Rick and Morgan, Gabriel, Daryl for Michonne's attention and affections? Which scenario do you see them getting more mileage out of for drama? Neither one. God forbid. If they ever decide to do either one of those, you will see me ranting nonstop. Those are horrible ideas. I'm sorry if those are your ideas. It's just, fuck no. This is not Bates Motel. Bates Motel, I don't know if you guys have watched that, but man, it went from just a potential masterpiece, and then they started mixing everything with just straight shipping. And at first I thought it was just me. I'm like, maybe I'm just against relationships on TV. You know, because Season 2 of Bates Motel, everyone was hooking up relationship-wise. And that was like the story, the foundation of the story in Season 2. And then I started seeing posts on Facebook from the Bates Motel Facebook page and everything like that, doing shipping posts. I would see it like every other weekend. Oh, who do you ship now? What do you think about these two? That's what they're going for within the writing, within the advertising, within communicating with fans on social media. Their main focus is shipping, and it just doesn't work for me in the thing. I don't want Rick, Morgan, Gabriel, and Daryl to fight for Michonne's attention. That is absolutely silly in the zombie apocalypse and for people who are in their 40s. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I personally would jump ship. Not meaning I would stop watching the show, but I would jump some kind of ship somewhere. Jared Sturyac something. Sorry. Is the gate that Rick's group entered the main gate that the little pig happens? Shouldn't the main gate be the center between two walls? You know what? If they can make it work, sure. I know there is another gate, but I don't believe that leads in. I know there's a gate over by the bell tower, but I don't believe that leads in anywhere. So they could come to that gate, I don't know. I know there is work and construction going on, so they might be changing things up a little bit. Cameron Howerton. Would the comic be different if Judith didn't die? Of course. Everything would be different if there was something different going on. Nick Fennoy. Comic, do you think Michonne and Ezekiel will get back together? Yeah. Aaron DeRozan. Do you think that in the Walking Dead Telltale games they will find a character from the comics like they had Glenn and Herschel? Love your videos, by the way. Thank you very much. And, it's possible, but I highly doubt it. I think that Telltale Games did something interesting, and they attached it with characters we loved from the comic, because that, for those who don't know, and I'm sorry if this confuses you, but those are considered brands, even single characters. When a character becomes popular, that's considered a brand. So Glenn was a popular character, he's a popular brand. You could put that character in the Telltale Games, you get fans talking about it, oh my god, we saw Glenn. Then you get other Walking Dead fans, now they're interested in Telltale Games. But that's in the beginning when Telltale Games didn't have its own fan base. Now, it is its own monster. So I don't think they need to, use any known comic book characters as a crutch to get more clientele, or customers, I should say. So I don't believe we'll see any more, but they could do it if the story is going in that direction. Giovanni Trunzo. Do you think that because Rick is being more king-like, he will start to get soft because he no longer goes on runs? I guess you're talking about the comic? No, I don't think he's going to go soft. In the New Beginning, we saw him beating some dude's ass, like right from the gate. And that was not a Rick we seen earlier. You know what I'm saying? Before the New Beginning. Just because Rick's storyline right now is not action-packed, sometimes we forget that he's not soft. Stovetti. Oh, wow. I do not... Stovidoi. Do you think there will ever be a villain in The Walking Dead that can top the Governor and Negan in terms of how dangerous or crazy there are? Absolutely. Sam and Cal Gaming. What are your expectations for Fear of the Walking Dead? Do you think it will be as good as The Walking Dead? No, to me it will never be as good, but I still think it will be great. Put it that way. Let me clarify. It's not going to be as good as The Walking Dead because The Walking Dead has turned into, legendary characters. Brands again. Rick Grimes, Carl Grimes, Jesus, Paul Monroe, Negan. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the other TV show, I think Fear the Walking Dead, I think it will be spectacular, It just won't have that same... it just won't be the same as the original show. The original show will always have that... I don't want to call it nostalgia because it's still new, but it will always have that sentimental value to you. You know what I'm saying? Shizomas. How closely do you think The Walking Dead Season 6 story arc will be to the comics? I don't know about Season 6, but I do believe that from here on out within Alexandria, we're going to be a lot closer to the comics than we ever have been before. Since Season 1, actually. Terry Chapman. Do you think that Dave Fennoy would make a... No. I'm going to say no to that. Listen, he's a great voice actor. Got a lot of talent. Is he black? Yeah. Does he got dreads? Yeah. He just does not look like Negan. Like Ezekiel. I don't think it's a good fit. And I think Dave Fennoy is a terrific actor. I just do not think that's a good fit. Slice of Bread 12. Do you think you'll see other parts of the world in The Walking Dead instead of America? Right now, no. Probably not for a long time. Soccer Titan 14. Do you think they will introduce Denise this coming season? If they go that... Yes, I'm not going to read the rest of that. There's like a whole paragraph. If they go that route, I do believe that they're going to introduce Denise and Heath in the very first episode, or within the very first couple episodes. I do believe that Daryl and what's-his-name will find him on a run. And if they don't, if there is a time skip, let's put it that way, I do believe that we will see Denise and Heath already there. I think that would be pretty neat if our crew are talking about these characters that they just brought in a couple days ago, and then when we meet them as Denise and Heath. I think that would be cool as well. subscribe now.